Hello, hello, the internet. Hello. Sorry, I was finishing up making a drink, and then when I came upstairs, I realized I hadn't clicked over onto my PlayStation yet. To get the special all lined up here. And what's funny there is that I was logged out. I think all my streaming media stuff has logged me out for some reason lately because I think it's like that password crackdown, so they're trying to figure out where you're all logging in from. So I have this, I have my thing queued up and ready to go. I don't know how many people are going to end up joining us here. I'm going to guess it's not going to be a lot because honestly, I originally wanted to post this like hours ago, but I wasn't sure the time, and then I was like, okay, I'll do 8:45. But I thought it'd be fun for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. We could watch it along, and if you have watched it, because guess what? I'm going to talk a lot about it as we go. Like the things I've got my communicator on. Morpher's back here. But I thought maybe it'd be fun for people who have never watched the show, for people who have never watched the anniversary, anything like that. But today is the day. 30 years ago today, this show premiered, and their 30th season is premiering in September 29th. It feels like a missed opportunity to not premiere on today, but whatever. It is also, I believe it's going to be the last series for a while. So I think this is it. I think this is kind of the end of Power Rangers. I hope it goes out with a bang. I'm excited to see what Power Rangers Cosmic Fury has to offer. So I'm very, very excited for all of that stuff. If you haven't watched Dino Fury, I think it's great. Watch it with your kids, watch it by yourself, whatever. I don't have kids, so I like watching it. So it's clearly good enough for me. But I figured we'll just chit-chat for a little bit here while people come on in and get settled. Maybe people are just seeing this now. So I want to start watching it maybe right at 9 if we can, if not sooner. Sorry, my chair got hooked on a small box I have over here that I need to use for shipping something. I have made myself a beverage for this evening, an adult beverage. It is I'm calling it the Mighty Morphin Manhattan. So I didn't have this camera doesn't do autofocus because it won't stay on me, but it's little lightning bolts all over here. This isn't a Power Rangers glass. This is a Bottle Logic glass, but it had lightning bolts all over it, and I love lightning bolts because I love Power Rangers. So technically I have a second Power Ranger, a pterodactyl that's a hexagonal pterodactyl under my right here under my boob, and my friend has the Triceratops on her same side, and those are all friendship tattoos. But so this Manhattan, I know it's got the ball of ice in it and everything, but I figure we're watching the show, so I made 1.5. It's not quite a double, but I did 3 ounces of this Tire Fire bourbon that Trey, if you're in this chat, shout out to Trey who brought me. It's bourbon that was finished in rum cask, but for some reason it's not sweet. It's very, very smoky. It is almost impossible to drink smoky, but I found that it makes a really smoky and fantastic Manhattan. So I did, so you do 2 ounces of that. I do an ounce of sweet vermouth, which is the red one. And then two dashes of bitters of your choice. Right now I did cranberry and orange. I thought maybe that would be, you couldn't hear. And then I actually added a little bit of simple to this one just because I feel like it'll, I don't know, I just wanted the sweetness today. So this is the cross between Manhattan and an old fashioned. So you could say it's an old fashioned with sweet vermouth in it, whatever. And then I did a Starlino, one of the black cherries in here as well, which is Starlino did this thing with rabbit hole. So these cherries were soaked in vermouth. So there's a lot of vermouth in this drink. Anyway, I made this nice red color. It's good. It's smoky. Honestly, try that bourbon that you got me, the Tire Fire for this, a smoky bourbon with a Manhattan. A smoky Manhattan is awesome. So I have never done one of these watch-alongs publicly on YouTube before, and I am in no way in hell gonna try and import the video into here or anything like that. So what I thought we could do is once everyone's signed in here, queue up your show, rewind it all the way back to 0 second, 0 mark, and then we could just like all hit play at the same time, and that's how we'll watch it. Okay. And then I'm probably going to talk a lot because I've seen this at least 10 times. But I thought I would be like, it'd be cool just to point out, because I haven't done this really with anybody yet, to be able to be like, oh, well, did you notice this? Did you notice that? This is what I like. This is what I like. And maybe some of you have seen it too. So pipe in and let's chat about it and things. And yeah, I see. So again, we'll start that in a couple minutes at 9 o'clock. So I see Roxas Panda says, hey, Ryno, are you excited for Cosmic Fury with Billy being in it? My boy Billy. Billy was my favorite Power Ranger. It like probably still top Power Ranger. I was always feel like I was like the smart sort of like outsider kid. Not like outsider. Like I was fine. I wasn't, well, I don't know. I wasn't really picked on. Nobody really bothered me. And I had friends. It wasn't like, I don't know. Are you the popular kid at school, or are people just like, nobody's got a problem with you? That's also popular, right? So whatever. But it talked about that had kind of the toxicity of some of the stuff that had happened with it. It makes my heart really warm. And if you are in the Orlando, Florida area, this is not a plug. I mean, this is a plug as in I'm going, but I have no affiliation with these people. But every year they do a Power Rangers convention here, and it's the first weekend of November, which I'm pretty sure it is this year too. They get a bunch of guests, and this year it's basically the entire cast almost, is what it looks like to me, of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. So we get like a lot of Mighty Morphin, and then I believe we're getting the girl or the woman who played Ming in this. For those of you who haven't seen yet, you will see in a few minutes, but are going to be here. So if you're going to be around, I go to this, and it's a pretty fun event, and it's like very intimate, but it's a lot of fun. It really is. I've made some really cool friends there and stuff, so I'm really looking forward to it. So if you're going, I'll be there. Please let me know. Oh no. I just realized a date. I just realized something. Let me double check those dates really quick for you, because it might be the second weekend. It might be Veterans Day weekend. It's called Ranger Stop. 2023 dates are November 10th through the 12th. Well, I just said that, and there is a small chance that I will not be there this year. I don't know yet. I don't know. We'll see. Oh man, I just bummed myself out. But there's more important things. I have something like that is like life or death important to do. This is literally like life or death. So, I might not be able to go. So I might send people and be like, live stream me while you're there. But yeah. Okay, so we got a couple more minutes. Let me just scroll through the chat really quick before we get started. Everybody remember, queue up your Netflix now, get it started, grab yourself a drink, a snack, whatever. This is about 58, I think it's right under an hour. My thing says 58 minutes. Doesn't feel like 58 minutes when you're watching it. So I'm happy to have everybody in here. Very excited. Justin Knight is saying in here, hey, Ryno, I was going to tag you in a post from Bricker Builds. It's a Power Rangers sword thing, but it's all legit Lego and a really neat build. That's cool. I like when people do that. So I don't have if you guys could see, I'm worried I'm going to mess this up, but also don't be judgy. Hold on. I'm going to turn this around so you can actually see oh, no, wait. Can I? Maybe you have to go this way. Oh, I can't go that way because of the cord. Okay, hold on. I think I can do this if I unlink this. Sorry, this might just mess everything up. I apologize. I'm just going to try and show you my Power Ranger wall really quick, because you'll always see this way, but you never see that way. Sorry, it's on like what? Watch me get like flagged now by Netflix. They're like, we can see our logo over there. Hold on. Those are my Will and Grace pops. Focus. There you go. So, a lot of Power Ranger stuff. Yeah, don't judge me. The whole area on the side is a work in progress. Okay. So, I'm going to flip you guys back around now. Excuse me for those who get motion sickness. Apologies. Yeah, but I love Power Rangers. I mean, I've always really liked, it's always been kind of this constant, like, in my life for me. That's always kind of around. I love how it evolves. I love how it changes. I love that, like, you know, they've definitely gotten better with representation. I mean, it's always been a good show that I was always like, I love the diversity of Power Rangers. Like, I always loved that there was, you know, there were, I felt like it was a better reflection of like what people looked like. Cause there was always, you know, there was oftentimes I mean, there was Asian people, there were black people, there was like, you know, you know, they had people on the show. There was like deaf people, there was blind people. It was just one of those things where I was like, it was really cool to see like what the real world, like what like an actual version of the world looks like and stuff, you know? So this is going to make for a great playback for everybody. Sorry about that. I'll take you on a tour of all that stuff someday. I feel like I'm up just a little too bright now. A little too bright. There we go. Now I'm crooked, but whatever. It is what it is. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're all doing fun. I think we're gonna hit it in a second here. So everybody queue up. I'll give you the countdown. I'm sure there's a delay, but you know, it won't really matter. You know, don't feel like whatever in the chat, you know, we'll have fun. We'll try and keep, that's why the whole point is to keep kind of the chat on the same delay. So I'm going to put my headphones on and I'll tell you some fun facts that I know about this. And if anybody out there knows fun facts too, please let me know as well as we go. So let's get ready. Here we go. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to hit play. We're on the 0, and I'm going to count it down. 3, 2, 1, play. I don't think I can turn my headset up, which is a shame, but if anyone knows how to turn the volume up on a PlayStation headset, let me know. So I love this little like I feel like the opening here with this like cool music and the like intro of the like one fateful day in 1993, the evil space Rita Repulsa escaped her space dumpster prison and attacked Earth. And I feel like it was a nice encompassing, like acknowledging other seasons of Power Rangers too. Can we talk about this shot of Billy here at the opening? Like, I love this shot. Also, shout out to David Yost. Very nice person. If you meet him, he was very, very cool to me. And this, like, what a cool morph. What a cool way to start it. I want to point out how he fights the putties right here. Because this is very different from the show, the kid show. Like, he punched that one in the stomach, he kicked that one in the leg, he punched that one in the face, hit that one in the chest. You were never allowed to do this on the show. That was a big deal when the original show came out. Like, they were like, okay, they had to get really creative with fighting because they basically, like, censorship crews came in and they were like, no. Also, they never said die on Power Rangers, so that's new. And shout out to Barbara Goodson for being incredible Rita. I also love that they use the actual Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song here because for like years this tune has not appeared on the show. I think there was like a licensing rights issue or something like that. So they did whatever they needed to do to get it in here. Also, that is Toy Trang's, like, Dutch original Trini's voice. That's Amy Jo Johnson's voice. Obviously, Walter is in this special. And this is Jason David Frank's voice as well. This is not Austin St. John's voice, though, which is weird. I don't know why he's the only one who does it, but I feel like Barbara Goodson knocked it out of the park with this voice work. Also, I want to point out something on their costumes in a second here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure all these costumes were made from scratch for this special, because if you look really close, their triangles are upraised on the suit, but also the triangles on the gloves and boots have like a lot of texture and detail to them that wasn't there in the original show. And then also, I have like this one little nitpick, like pet peeve, because somebody like clearly looked at like promo shoots or something like that. They made a half collar, but then they have the hood on under that, and it's like supposed to be one or the other, because it was supposed to be like when the helmet comes off. Also, this is a good shade of blue on Billy. I think David Yost is wearing extensions. I don't mean that in a mean way, but he looks good. Also, Zach looks exactly the same. I like that he's got a split lip. Oh, oh. This girl knocked it out of the park, too. The playing Min. Emotion. Also, I'll keep checking the chat if you guys want to keep engaging in the chat. Sorry, that's the thing is like I'm watching this and this, so I've seen this a million times, so please don't feel like you're bothering me at all by doing this. But I love that like Zach stepped in as the parent, which was so sweet. But I really thought I'm actually like I feel like it should have been Billy, because Billy and Trini had that like special connection. But I mean, Zach and Trini went off to the peace conference. If you remember when they left the show, the peace conference. Um, Also, her fighting style is supposed to be like Mantis, like in the original show. So that's a reference to that. And I love this little like ofrenda they built for her. Do they explain why the original team was all together? They do not explain it in this. But so Zach even I think says he came like he basically was in Congress. And Billy owns that company and stuff. So on the show Power Rangers, basically Power Rangers just keep being Power Rangers. So like I feel like a couple years back, maybe like I don't know, 15 years ago, something. I mean, in the 10-year anniversary, we kind of see Power Rangers still being Power Rangers. Like I think they all kind of still do small missions, you know, to keep the world safe in any way they can. And so I think this is one of those things where like they do explain how these Power Rangers got this message, though. And that's coming up. That's a flashback. Honestly, I would love, like, if they did more specials like this as opposed to doing, like, movies or something like that. This, to me, is, like, that sweet spot of Power Rangers. Like, this, I don't mean to be rude. This is what the movie should have been, the 2017 movie. Not that I don't like that 2017 movie, but this one, this is what this should have been. Also, Billy and Zach are the only two core original five that are back. 656, if you're counting Tommy. Rest in peace. David, not David. Who was on Breaking Bad? Cranston. Bryan Cranston. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Anyway, Bryan Cranston was the voice of that original Snizzard character, and that is why Billy's last name is Cranston. They took it from that name. I like 2017 enough that like can exist in its own universe. It's the same way I love the 2019 Star Trek movie. It's the Kelvin timeline. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. I was just a brain fart. Okay, see, they have like this. They have that extra neck piece. Harvey Garvey was the game show host that they were on in season 2. So sorry, Harvey. See, look at that! Look at that attention to detail in that glove there. But what's crazy to me is I don't think a lot of people know, like, a lot of times the costumes and stuff come from Japan and stuff like that. They like built all these costumes and everything from scratch because they don't obviously have the originals, and foam doesn't last that long. I think they did a good job. Also, I love how they used, like, Amy Jo Johnson, Jason David Frank. Like, I love how they used their ADR work in this, so it still felt like it was them there. Like, they didn't fake it. I mean, they cheated. They didn't fake, though. Coming to a toy store near you. So their suits aren't supposed to have that neck unless they're, like, helmet off. Because it's supposed to be, like, representative of the underhood. Does that make sense? I don't know. Also, so my friend watched this, and he was just like, did you like this? But he had never really watched the show. So he was just like, oh. So I don't think he understood, like, this flying car. Which is a reference to the Beetle on the original show that flew when they couldn't teleport. One of the more absurd elements of the original show, but you know what? I like the reference. Honestly, it's a nice car, too. I do like that they chose the Black Panther, like Trini's death, which was nice. Also, this tells us that they are 45 in this. But Billy, I believe, is 56 right now in real life. I love this, like, with the flowers and everything above her. Ooh. I feel bad. We're going to see Billy in Cosmic Fury, though. But they said this was like its own thing, so they're going to make, like, references to it, but it's not, like, right after this, I guess. Also, the fact that they, like, recreated this, like, it says Bandora Palace, because in Japan, she was called Bandora. I never noticed it said it on it until, like, years later. Because this is the first time we're watching Mighty Morphin in, like, high definition. Because I think the show was, like, filmed on, like, VHS cameras. But I love this. I love how they, like, rebuilt the moon layer. See, so this is I know somebody asked the question, is that they're luring all Power Rangers, which I like how they, like, rooted it within the thing. Also, this is Richard Horvitz, the original voice of Alpha 5. Alpha 9, though. Oh, teenager with attitude. Love it. I do like this flashback a lot. Because this exists within continuity of the show, which is just beautiful. Like, if you watch Power Rangers in space, the Red Ranger destroys Zordon's energy tube, which they have, which not they have there, but he breaks the energy tube, which kills Zordon, essentially. Or it creates a Z wave, which wipes out all this evil throughout the universe. But like you see it all happen, so I think this is cool. So I love when he slaps Billy. A reference to it's been 10,000 years. See, so then that's where we joined the special. I love the redesign of this command center, because if you follow the show, you know the command center was destroyed. I mean, it became the power chamber, but then it blew up. So let's see, in here you see Reefside, Astro Megaship, Turtle Cove, Terra Venture. Those are all different seasons of Power Rangers. Like that was where they were. And then we get our second Pink Ranger. Also, JJ is Tommy and Kat's son. That they were saying, they were alluding to the fact that Kat and Tommy actually aren't together right now. And then our second Red Ranger. But Tommy and Kat might not be together right now because in the like original version of this script, Tommy couldn't deal with the fact that he couldn't save Trini, and so like they became estranged. But if you read, there's a graphic novel called Soul of the Dragon, and it is this really cool, like sort of like Old Man Wolverine style tale of like Tommy years from now, and he's got an adult son, JJ, and it's kind of about like what JJ is going through, and it has like SPD, like JJ works at SPD, which is a season, and Tommy has to like find him, and so he's got to use this like master morpher to use all of his other powers along the way. So it's cool, but he's like has like a injured back or anything. Also, they rebuilt this set from like all sets were rebuilt, and it's crazy how good of a job they did rebuilding the juice bar. Oh, still waiting on the Mark's saying he's still waiting on the Power Rangers VR Troopers crossover for Power Rangers has such like this rich lore that I know a lot of people, like, you come and go, different ages, there's kids and things like that haven't seen it. Also, here's actually an interesting fact here. So Rocky and Kat have never piloted the Tyrannosaurus or the Pterodactyl Zord, obviously, but Kat has also never said pterodactyl when she morphs before, because when Kat became the Pink Ranger, she was using the ninja powers, so they would say Pink Ranger power. Also, that pink energy thing is a reference. Zordon says that to Kimberly later. He's like, too much pink energy can be dangerous. Also, I love that they like still morph the same way. Oh, see, I love that they worked in Go-Go Power Rangers. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in here that's like it's like aged up, but I think you'd still feel like, oh, this still feels that way. But there's a lot of stuff like they're using their blasters again, which they barely ever used. They fight differently, and you know, things like that. That like I feel like there's a lot of nods for like fans of the entire franchise, but it's not alienating. So this like walked that line so well. God, Barbara Goodson is delivering the performance here. If you ever meet her at a convention, she's so nice. She will record your voicemail for you if you want. I was stood there while she did my friends, and it was incredible. I was like, why didn't I do this? Also, definitely not the same people in those suits. They're so skinny. That Red Ranger is so skinny. So Kat came back for the 25th anniversary. I don't think she's in the 20th. Is she in the 20th? I can't remember. The 20th anniversary was a mess. That's actually a reference to like in Turbo where Rocky fell. He was doing a kick and he fell out of the ring and he like injured his back and couldn't be a Power Ranger. And that's when they made the Kid Power Ranger. Bulk and Skull. I love that they made a sandwich company because if you remember the episode, The Bulk Witch. That putty just threw that lady off a building. You got to be kidding me. See, I feel like they tried to like raise the stakes to make it a little more threatening, which is interesting. So I think because it's a special, it doesn't have to conform to the rules of the series as much. That's why I would like more of these. Because like, there's no reason you couldn't watch this with your kid. Like, nothing happens in this that I don't know. I'd never be like, no. Appreciating all the people popping in and saying hi, saying hello. Oh, our second Yellow Ranger, our second Black Ranger. Adam was in the 15-year anniversary. Also, Adam does a lot of like prolific animation voice. If you've ever seen oh my God, what's the big one with the bike? He does a lot of like anime dubs. I gotta look it up now. It's gonna bug me. Also, what's cool? They're SPA. So Space Patrol Delta. So this is like leading into that. Hold on, I'm looking up. Akira. He's the voice in Akira, the main voice in Akira. Martin, you really like Sonic, huh? Metal. Okay, so I love about this is that, well, I'll wait a second, because Min's fighting in the juice bar. Also, I just want to know, I don't know if I said it earlier, but Ron Wasserman returned to do the music for this, and he did the like soundtrack, the original score and soundtrack of everything for the original. And I mean, the incredibly underrated original soundtrack. I love that the morpher doesn't work. Because I love that this is also like what's in your heart, what makes you a Power Ranger, which again was really what the 2017 movie was about too. But I feel like this did it in a way that was definitely the in-universe Power Rangers way. And again, I like the 2017 movie, but yeah, I'd argue. So Mark is saying he wishes Tanya was in the 30th anniversary special, especially since her and Kat have that podcast and YouTube channel where they do like a Power Rangers like flashback and stuff like that. It's really cool, and there's a lot of fun behind the scenes stuff on there. And also, like, technically, Tanya was in that. Like, her first episode is the last episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a very dramatic one where the command center explodes. And so, like, I would have loved like a little wink and a nod to her, maybe, or something. Um, Ernie passed away. Unfortunately, the actor who played Ernie. I like, this is one of my favorite like little music cues right here. Bum. Also, okay, so someone did a side by side on YouTube, I think, and the Zach moves right here that he's about to do. This thing, if you can put it side by side, and it is, I know it might look weird here, but it is the exact moves that he does in a scene in the original. And I also love this reference. Are you breakdance fighting? If you're not reading the Power Rangers, like the Boom Studios Power Rangers stuff, it's some of the best Power Rangers like storytelling that's out there. And it's like a redo of the original, but like it also incorporates later elements of the show, and it's very unique. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. I'm like way behind on it though. I'm like 40 episodes behind. Also, you can see right there, Zach only has 4 fingers because he's missing a finger on one of his hands. He was born with only, like, I think it's this finger that's missing. He's got a viewing globe and everything. Hey, you better calm down, man. I think it's also cool to see. I need to stop talking about stuff before it happens. The theme's guitar riff is a Master of Puppets from Metallica. I'm going to listen to that right after this. That's one of my favorite. My sensors are detecting a vibe. Also, like seeing Rangers in mentor positions, like the growth of that. I love this conversation. Justice versus revenge. Sorry, I'm caught up in the moment. I think what I also like about this too is that like it wasn't all cured in one conversation. Like it took multiple conversations to get Min to see like what this all meant. And I don't know, that feels a lot more real. Like she had to process her grief. She had to go through this stuff. And I don't know. I also love that like this part. When they talk about Zordon being like a father for them. So I'm wondering if Billy is still going to be trying to bring Zordon back in Cosmic Fury. And if that's what teams them up. Or if Billy's Cosmic Fury stuff takes place before this. Because maybe they find Billy on Aquitar, because that's where we last saw Billy. But they bring that up in this. Also, there's a really cool morph in this scene right now. Also, Kat is piloting a crane right here. And Kat never got to pilot the crane Zord. That was her, because that was her Zord in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Martin, your favorite is the Green Ranger. It's a good choice. Jason David Frank. Sad he's not in this. This was filmed obviously before his passing, but I know he chose not to be in this. Okay, so the way they filmed this morph is really cool. So I didn't know this is how they do it. So they do that, and then someone yells, pause, comes in and puts two hands, like one hand was on the morpher, like where their hands were held up, and one on where their helmet was. And the suit actors come out, and they move, and they come back, and they position themselves right up against those things, and then they move and go back. And then that's how they faded the two scenes together. I love a practical fade like that, a practical effect. If I knew After Effects, I'd try and do it myself, but... See, just the neck part of the costume is like... I hate it. Oh, see, I love a... See, I love this, like... reference. There was a vault in the original Command Center. I love Alpha. Also, this joke, like here, Alpha stepping on them and like not being able to get, it's so classic Power Rangers. Yeah, and Trey says it right here in the chat. This girl's got some bloodthirst, okay? Because it's like, yeah, we're not murdering people. How many times do we have to tell you we don't get to murder people? Poor Alpha. Also, Cranston Tech's got all this tech and they can't pave the driveway there, huh? Or are those all their cars? I don't know. Okay, also in terms of representation, what I talked about earlier, that I enjoy about Power Rangers having representation when it comes across the board, is that lately they've been having LGBTQ representation. And right here, there's these two, he said his boyfriend, and then the current Green Ranger is also came out as gay on the show as well. And in an episode there too, there's also a guy like in the background if you're listening, like talking about another guy. Also, can we talk about how that guy was like, that guy's with this like older guy, and you're like, Martin's talking about, I wish the Rangers had the Master Morphers, which is in the comics, and then that was a part of the 25th anniversary. That's how Tommy could use all of his powers. I think they're releasing that as a toy with Hasbro. I think he re-recorded dialogue for the Morpher. Break up with your boyfriend, baby. See, also, again, Min F's up the plan because she's got that bloodthirst. Well, it's open that time. I know there's like little dolly moves and stuff like that I like. And also Rita's a B-O-T-C-H. So Rita even says it here. Praying mantis. And I loved seeing this hand-to-hand combat against Rita. Which we like. There was a whole episode about Trini fighting that way. Oh, she did not. I also love that Rita could just like kill her right now, and she just likes messing with like. That's I don't know. I feel like we got to see a real evil version of Rita again, which was cool. Also, I like the addition of like having the putties kind of like crumbled to dust, which I know the Zed putties did when you punch them, but these guys just like kind of they disappeared. Oh, we got Lost Galaxy Rangers. We got In Space. We got Beast Morphers. We got Tommy. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I see In Space. I see Wild Force. Sean, we're watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always on Netflix right now. I see you saying, what are you missing? No. It's Space Dumpster. That's not Barrel, you idiot. I do like that time travel. Yeah, no, Justin. No, thank you. You got that, Trey. I like Rita's like claw hands. I also love that Billy is like front and center in this special because he also was I'm positive Jason David Frank has to have surpassed it at this point, or had to have surpassed it while he was still alive, obviously. But Billy Yost was in the most episodes of Power Rangers before he left the show. So I don't know. He never got the credit he deserved. And I feel like this gave him that a little more. We love a power blaster. We love a blade blaster. Boom! Zap. I like that we got a good amount of civilian ranger fights and costume ranger fights. Well, they can't morph, right? So I have this other nitpick. I wish that Kat and Rita had at least Rita had made it like a cat joke or something or a reference to it, because if you remember, the reason why Kat's a Power Ranger is because Rita brainwashed Kat, and Kat stole the pink Ranger coin. Also, this part. Sorry. American Eagle stretch jeans. Oh, that's so cool. Laura says that she's friends with Rita in real life, Carla Perez, who, if you don't know, Carla Perez is the body of Rita Repulsa after season 1 of Power Rangers. And that's so cool. How awesome. I love that. Oh my God. I'm going to have to say hi when she's at I convention. I don't know if she's coming to that Ranger Stop thing or not, but I'll have to say hi. I also loved this little part. Got me a little like choked up, a little emotional when I was watching this the first time. The flashback in the eye of seeing her mom, because Choi Trang, she died like in 2001, and you know, but I know that she loved her time as being a Power Ranger and what she meant for people. It's one of those things. So it's just like that part got me a little bit. There's another part at the end too that's like. I don't know. I loved that they like Black Panther, like Wakanda Forever. This love it. Look at those helmets; are crisp. I love that they incorporated those weapons in this too, because I don't know. I just love the weapons. So Hasbro, who owns Power Rangers now, has been putting out legacy weapons. So I don't have any. Oh, I lied. I have the Blue Ranger staff. That's the only one I have. I feel like I need to get the Red Ranger sword, because they also released the Yellow Ranger daggers, and I want those too. They're just like they're a little overpriced. Like they're not priced correctly, I feel like. So it's one of those I've been dragging my feet, but I think they're gonna like do a HasLab thing for the pink bow and the Mastodon's power axe, so that they can all come together and combine. And so like that'll be my like final Mighty Morphin Holy Grail, I think, because I've got the Morpher as a communicator. Like I need the weapons, right? See, I wish there was just like a little. That's all I want. It's just like maybe it was in a deleted scene, or maybe they can. I also love this. Why? Yeah. Okay. So this is how you know magic wand makes my monster grow. Yeah, baby. But also this is how you know they put time and effort into this thing again. Is that they, for the special, digitally created these Zords, like the assets for this one special for nothing else. Also, I love that she's distracted and Billy was like, all right, you know what? We're just going to stab her through the back. I have the Dragon Dagger. I do have the Dragon Dagger. Paul said that. That was the first one they released. I have that. I thought they were going to do a Blade Blaster again, but they didn't, because I have the Bandai Blade Blaster. I love it. It like gives me goosebumps. So this part too, all shot for shot, like redone with the new toy as the reference, with the Zap Bandai one. But all those shots, these are all recreated shots, like down to and I love it. And I know some people will be like, "Oh, it's cheesy, it's whatever," and I'm like, "But this is what it was too." My only thing is I wish when it was forming the Megazord, it said the Megazord battle sequence has been initiated. Megazord sequence activated. Because that's what it did in the original show. But still, it's really cool that this one special did all this. I know it's not like groundbreaking. It's not Steven Spielberg. It's not Jurassic Park CGI. But it's still like, oh no, we never got this. Also, they like rebuilt the interior cockpit, which is cool too, because this technically isn't the original Megazord. They rebuilt these Zords because all those were used for the Thunder Zords, and then the Thunder Zords were destroyed. Hello, Brian. Hello, TJ. It's the right amount of cheese, right? Like it's supposed to be cheesy. It's like you need that cheese factor a little bit. See, that's what I love about this special is that it doesn't not have humor and it doesn't not have cheese, but it uses it in the right way. Also, Billy just said, "Come catch these hands," but like I felt like it has that real kind of understanding of that. I do miss Bulk and Skull. I would have loved just like a little cameo of Bulk and Skull or something like that, but um, but this kind of understood what people wanted from an anniversary thing. I think this might be the highest rated, like, Rotten Tomatoes sort of thing that Power Rangers has got going. Also, I love Zach's sweet spin right there. And then Rocky stabs this guy. It's clear they had to, like, there was a lot of, like, editing to get it for runtime, because I think it had to be under 60 minutes. Like, Billy is the leader. I love it. Uh-oh. That witch is alive. Um, I don't know. I also love that they like kind of filmed this 1993, like they refilmed the Japanese footage to do this thing that they're doing right now. Like the astronauts are still in their crazy outfits too, like these weird Star Trek outfits. I mean that power sword. I do love that. Also, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I was like they're about to stab him. Like, see, I love their weapons. I love the use of the weapons here. It is, see, and this is cool that Kat got to do this too, because I feel like that maybe is a nod to like Kat kind of putting the like. Also, Rita being like, "I'll kill you all," like, lady, lady. We don't say that, lady. We say destroy you all. Also, you just leave that Megazord on autopilot? What, it's got one short arm? Talk about an upgrade to where that power chamber is, or the command center too. It used to be in the mountain, and now he's like, never mind, by the beach. I am really happy that. Sestria, the lady that he left Earth with. You tell me he hasn't realized it's not Lady Aquitar people he likes. Is it an American Eagle shirt they're trying to cover up? I love all their outfits. They look like the coolest PTA committee that's ever lived. I do love that they are still using their communicators too. So the only thing here is if you look at the communicators, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just they're using the Bandai toy communicator, which has a really thick, like this part on it is super thick. It's like double the size of this. And that is not how big the original ones were. So I'm just saying that. But the toy talks and has lights and everything like that. And it's really cool. I should have bought more than one when I had a chance, but I didn't. Miranoi. That's where the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy people are. I'm wondering if they're going to find him on Miranoi. And that was the connection right there. Trini was his like best friend. And Kimberly. He likes the ladies. Kimberly. I also like that Billy doesn't have his glasses on either in this at all, because he was like, I hate wearing the glasses. I don't want to wear the glasses. He didn't need them either. Oh, Billy. You wearing blue socks with those white jeans? I love that. I don't know. This was just very nice. It must have been really cathartic for them, you know? There's actually an episode of Power Rangers Zeo where his contact lenses get shot out and he like that's the whole thing with his glasses get messed up. I love that. The morphing grid is a pathway to infinite possibilities. He did make his own personal LASIK. Billy, you're too high. See, this little bit too makes me want to watch it when they're like the turtle with the traffic light. It was a turtle. Also, okay, so it's this little tail end dedication here too that like got me with Amy Jo singing the song, but then the close up of Jason, Frank, and Toy. And then seeing them all like super young too. And then the dedication here was just, I feel like that was the, gonna get choked up, getting choked up. I don't know. That was perfect. See, there's like nitpicky stuff. I love that they did this at the end, that they did the theme song. So they like redid an intro too, because come on, how freaking cool is that? And then like showing the younger them and I don't know. Nothing beats this original theme song either. I'm sorry. I mean, I know we've had great songs between then and now, but that was fun. I'm glad we did that. Executive producer Simon Bennett, who I think has been one of like the best things to happen to Power Rangers in years. This man, he's very communicative with fans online, but unfortunately, Power Ranger fans are not great. They seem to be, for people who are in a niche community, they sometimes can be like really crappy about all that. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. I'm really happy we did this for everybody who joined us. I know it won't be a ton of people or anything like that, but I'm just happy to have done it with whoever was here and have the chat going and say we did it and how we contributed to National Power Rangers Day, because that is today and it was the official 30th anniversary. And like I said, it's just like, I'm just going to flash that tattoo again real quick. It is one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, 30 years, man. In your life, how many things are with you for 30 years? You know, you don't even have that much time with people or things. And you know, you've got shows that come and go and mean the world to you. But there's just something about this thing. Like, I think I just like how it reinvents itself, how it can be so many different things, but it can be so much to so many. And then like also the way it like plays into it. Because I'm not a Mighty Morphin like purist. I don't like, Mighty Morphin's not even my favorite season. I mean, it's up there obviously because it's the original, so I hold it in its own little category. But it's like, I love Power Rangers in Space. I love Power Rangers Dino Thunder. This new series, the Dino Fury series, is great. You know, so like I've loved stuff all across this 30-year franchise. But I also think being a fan of something, you could have seen one episode, you could see 100 episodes, you could see every episode, you could see one episode 100 times. You're all fans. We're all fans, you know. Zeo is arguably pretty good too. I see that in here. I see Paul, you're mentioning that. I rewatched a couple years ago. So when they were all on Netflix still, because Netflix only I think has like Mighty Morphin, and then I think it has like Beast Morphers through now. What was I gonna say? I got to Turbo, but Turbo is like one of my least favorite seasons. And so when Bulk and Skull got turned into monkeys and Justin was there, I was like, like it derailed me, which sucks because I was really looking forward to getting to Power Rangers in Space and watching all of that. Because if you have not watched Power Rangers in Space, that series is a freaking gem. I mean, that series is really the reason why Power Rangers is still on today, basically. But RPM is also really, really good. If you've never watched that, it's basically Terminator meets Mad Max meets Power Rangers. And it's dark. And but it's really cool. It does some real big swings where like the monsters, so like only the higher up generals, so like the main monster and then his generals speak like what is equated to English. But then like the other monsters they like fight don't speak in a language they can understand, you know. And so I feel like there's a lot of really cool elements with that. Like the Red Ranger, he wasn't supposed to be the Red Ranger, it was supposed to be his brother, but his brother died trying to save this city because it's like the last city of humanity is all there because like this machine empire has like taken over the planet. It's really, really good. It has a really rewarding ending to it, and it's just one of those where like I didn't watch it until all the show was on Netflix because it was like always preempted when I lived here, ironically, even though Power Rangers was at Disney World at that time. But it just is one of those series where I'm like, you could watch it separate and not have watched any other Power Rangers show and still watch that one show and be like, this show's great. And that's a testament to it because it's like seasons 17 or something like that. But I feel like everything once they call it the Neo Saban era, which is like before Hasbro, but it's like the Nickelodeon stuff. I don't really like a lot of that. Like, I don't hate it. Like I never got into Samurai, Super Samurai. It just wasn't really for me because that was the first time they ever did like direct adaptations of Japanese scripts. So it was like really like they were following it like beat for beat, and they'd never. I don't think they'd really done that before. They'd done like overarching stuff, but yeah. So then I didn't get in that, and then I hated Megaforce. I'm sorry. Like for me, it might be the worst season of like, and I say that knowing what I just said, Bulk and Skull turning into monkeys and things like that. But like Power Rangers and Turbo had a phenomenal finale. Power Rangers Megaforce and Power Rangers Super Megaforce dropped one of the largest balls of the entire franchise, which was their 20th anniversary special, and just like the way they like hinted at it, that then like it meant it's just like it was just like noise, and it didn't feel like it was really a testament to anything. And also their suits were pirate themed, and they never say the word pirate in the entire season. Tell me how that's humanly possible. So I just feel like it's not for me. Here's the thing though, I'm also not one of those fans who's going to be like, if you tell me it's your favorite season, I'd love to have a conversation about it. Let's just talk about it. I don't need to tell you that you're wrong. I don't need to, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just being about like, oh, I'm interested to see what it is about that season that speaks to you, that calls to you. But yeah, and the thing is too about I see it in the chat. Roxas Panda is saying it here. Is that I'll pop it in here so people can see it if anybody watches this later. Is that Gokaiger? I don't watch any of the Japanese shows at all, and I am a firm believer that you do not have to watch the Japanese shows. Power Rangers and Sentai are two different things. They are utilizing suits and footage and inspired by, but they are not the same thing. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, like break or whatever. And some people are excellent at it. Some people love that sort of a difference and thing like that. For me, it's just like I like Power Rangers. I have thought about watching like the like Jew Ranger, the original, the show that Mighty Morphin is based on, because it is drastically different from Mighty Morphin. Like every now and then I think about trying to watch that. I think I watched like the first episode of it not too long ago, because I'm pretty sure it's like all on YouTube. Like you can watch it all streaming on YouTube, because I think they created, like Shout Factory to it, created a YouTube channel, and they were basically just uploading it. It might even been the toy company, like TOIE, I think is, or TOEI, Tao Toy. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything wrong with watching both or liking one more than the other or anything like that, but I don't think it's a requirement, and I kind of hate that sort of like drag on it. But with that said, what Roxas Panda is saying is that I know that Gokaiger, the season that Power Rangers Super Mega Force is kind of like using the suits and Megazords and stuff based on, is like a beloved season of the franchise. So I feel like they extra dropped the ball, because it was kind of like, not only did they have this like beautiful material with all these suits already there and everything like that, but they like then like didn't even make a good version of that show. Yeah, actually, this is a really good point to put it. Roxas Panda says, I love that it's separate. That way we get more stories within that whole universe, regardless of the language. Yeah, I think that's how I agree. Like, it's cool. I also love interpretation like that. You know what's wild to me to think about too, just like reflecting on the 30 years of Power Rangers, is like, more of the world knows Power Rangers. And it's crazy that like Japan created this show, that the show that was already on for like, I mean, what, like 20 years before Power Rangers even started or something like that. I think it started in the 70s, Sentai did. And it's crazy that Power Rangers became the show. Power Rangers is the show that is translated into so many other languages. So the world knows Power Rangers, but they don't know the Sentai. And it's like a wild sort of thing. Olivia is asking, did anyone ask your first Power Rangers memory? No. But I do remember, I was thinking about this because I was talking to my barber this morning. Sorry. Drinking a little Powerade for the electrolytes. saying something about like, oh, he had wanted to see Jurassic Park because Jurassic Park had been in the theater for its 30th anniversary. And I was like, sometimes I forget those both came out in the same year. Like, and Jurassic Park probably has a lot to do with the success of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, because Mighty Morphin was obviously dinosaurs. So like we were in a dinosaur craze because of Jurassic Park was this like phenomenon, and still remains to this day. But is that like I remember going to see Jurassic Park. So I wasn't even in third grade when Power Rangers came out then, because I saw Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park came out June 1993. So because I remember it being the end of second grade, and my aunt took me to see it in the movie theater and being like, "This movie's intense." And then I did have Liquid IV earlier in the day. This is 0-calorie Powerade Zero. It's really just because it was at my desk and I needed water and I forgot to bring up water. But what was I say? So it's crazy that like I think Jurassic Park was like June 1st or something like that. But Power Rangers was obviously August 28th, and so like that just started when I went into third grade. Because like I can remember in third grade, like I remember my friend Kyle like coming in and being like, "Dude, did you watch Power Rangers?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "I'm gonna watch it." Yeah, I didn't see the new episode. We didn't talk like this. We're not from California. And he was like, "There's an evil Power Ranger." And I was like, "No, Power Rangers can't be evil. What are you talking about?" He's like, "There's a green one, and he kicked their butt." And I was like, "Kyle, that's not possible. There isn't a green one." So like when I watched it, I was like, "Oh!" Like I remember just being like traumatized when Tommy gets in the Megazord and like being, I was like, he's breaking all the rules. He's a bad boy. No wonder why Kimberly loves him. But I kind of actively remember the commercials on like Fox Kids and being like, I'm going to watch this show on Saturday. So August 28th must have been a Saturday 30 years ago. And being like, my life was forever changed. I haven't seen every single episode of Power Rangers. I want to say that too. Like I've seen every single episode confidently up through Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder. I think I've seen every episode through Dino Thunder, because I haven't seen every episode of SPD. Yeah, and I haven't seen every episode of Mystic Force. But I haven't seen the end of SPD. I mean, I know the end, but SPD was one that when it was on Netflix, I mean, I own the whole series because I bought them individually as they were being released. I have like 6 episodes left, but SPD is not connecting with me the same way it connected with everybody else, and that's okay. I love Matt, the Green Ranger, Matt Sadowski, is that his name? Matt, who plays that? Buttery. Trip, and wait, no, his name's not Trip. Trip is the Green Ranger from Time Force. I can't remember his name. Right now, off the top of my head, I'm having that weird thing. I was like, are there 2 Green Power Rangers named Trip? That cannot be it. Bridge. His name is Bridge. So I'd argue I've seen up through that SPD. Mystic Force, I didn't see it all because I think I was like moving to Florida. Or I moved to Florida during that season. But I had the DVDs. They used to release them in volumes, but the whole season never came out. But you would get basically everything, and then maybe there would be a season of the finale. And I remember when I finally watched Mystic Force, because I was very like anti-capes in Power Rangers, and I still am. When I finally watched it, I remember being like kind of moved by how good that show was. Like the twists and turns it took with like, I think the Red Ranger was like adopted, and like maybe one of them was his mother, and the evil guy might have been the father. And I was like, what? Like there was a lot of that stuff. And I was just like, okay. And then I know I've seen a lot of it, but I don't think I've seen every episode. Because it was hard. It wasn't possible to see it all back then, and it wasn't being like released. And like I said, it was only in those like volumes. And then I think the season after that is maybe like Jungle Fury. Is it Jungle Fury or Operation Overdrive? I can't remember. But I definitely have seen like nothing of Operation Overdrive except for the 15-year anniversary. No, Jungle Fury is after Operation Overdrive. I'm pretty sure Operation Overdrive is after that. I'm pretty sure. I could be just misremembering right now, but anyway, I mean, like I said, I have them all over there, so someday I'm gonna crack them all open. Like I've seen the beginnings of all of them. Like I saw the first episode of Operation Overdrive, and I saw the. Okay, I was right. Roxas Panda told me Operation Overdrive was next. Like I remember the plot and being like, wow, this is interesting. But then like I couldn't keep up with it because I didn't have a DVR at that point. And I didn't. We had cable in my apartment, but like there was no way to record it, and it was on at random times in the day because I don't know why Disney does that programming. And then I remember watching the first episode of Jungle Fury and then like a little bits in here. And then I think Jungle Fury, the big turnoff for me was I hated their sunglasses morpher. I was so, because I'm a big, like, I love to collect the morphers. And I was like, I don't have a big head. So I was like, this is stupid. This is the first morpher, like, I can't play with and I don't like it. So but I do want to go back and watch Jungle Fury because I know they created a whole bunch of like American made suits for that show and stuff like that. And then, God, what's after Jungle Fury? RPM can't be after that, right? I should have pulled it up. List of Power Rangers series. I just can't see this far away. I used to have it memorized, and that's the scariest part, right? Like, not remembering. And then when I watched, the problem was RPM would be on at like noon, but they would keep freaking, I would wait, I would set a timer and everything, and they would keep, it would keep getting it would be cut. It would be cut out because they would have to like cut to a news story or a sports game or something like that. And it was just like, what the hell? Oh my God, Operation Jungle Fury. Oh, RPM was next. I was right. And so like I didn't get to see that till it was on Netflix, and I didn't have an option. There was no way to watch it. I tried to like even rip it on the internet. So I got some episodes, and that's how I saw what I did when I did. But I am so happy I went and watched that show, though, because RPM is definitely top 5. And I would argue from a standpoint, it is like one of the best examples of what Power Rangers can be, because Power Rangers reinvents itself. But Power Rangers is also, it exists within another dimension, so it's not in the main Power Rangers dimension. But then they did that weird Mighty Morphin like reversion thing, which I thought was the stupidest thing in the world. And that they like, when I was like, oh, maybe they'll make the Morpher again, and they didn't. They made some like crap, like weird Polly Pocket sort of toy thing like they had made before, and it was awful. That was bad. And then I don't know, it was a weird, like, that doesn't really count as a season, but it was like on, I remember, and I was just like, what's the point of this? And then they did Samurai, and like I said, I watched the beginning, but like Samurai's like first episode isn't their origin episode, so that was weird. I didn't watch like any of Super Samurai. I watched some of Mega Force, but I couldn't watch it. It was, I don't like really. It just was like not good. It did not have a good cast chemistry. Like there were some people I like Sierra Hannah. I think the Yellow Ranger in that is fine, but like I don't know. It's just not good. And then it doesn't end well either. So it's like a lot. Power Rangers Dino Charge started out like really good. Like the season of Power Rangers Dino Charge was pretty solid, I feel like. Especially having like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of Power Rangers that was like garbage. And then I finally finished Dino Supercharge. So I've seen every episode of Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge. And I gotta say, Dino Supercharge fell flat for me at the end. I feel like Dino Charge was so good, and then it was too many episodes going for the same plot. That's the problem, because they kept doing this like two season thing. And then Ninja Steel. I watched, I think, the beginning of Ninja Steel, and then I watched the special, but I couldn't. Again, it was definitely like, I've read a thing recently where they were saying like Power Rangers varies in who it's aged for. Like sometimes it's really aged for like 4 to 6 year olds. Sometimes it's for like older kids that go up to like 12. And the 4 to 6 year old seasons really shine through. Like those to me are like the Ninja Steel Mega Force seasons. I'm like, I watched all of Beast Morphers and I loved it. It started out a little slow. I felt like the first like little bit was a little bit, but once it really got going, it was really good and had some great throwbacks to other seasons. And then it has that cool episode 2 that brought back Austin St. John as Jason in it, and had that Dino Charge, the big crossover that people had always wanted. And then it has a cool like it's related to Power Rangers RPM, which is crazy, and I loved it. I really enjoyed Beast Morphers. I'll say that. And then Dino Fury. I loved the entirety of Dino Fury, every single thing about it. So I can't wait for Cosmic Fury. I'm very excited. So right now I feel like I'm in that like resurgence of Power Rangers for myself. And if you have not read the Boom Studios comic book, it is a must. It is a must read. I am on like issue 40 though, and there's 100 and something issues right now, so it's tough. Oh, Ranger Liz is in here. If you guys love Power Rangers content, you follow this girl right here, Ranger Liz. I've talked about her before. Liz is just a beacon of positive energy in this universe, and just such a wonderful human being, and honestly deserves a job somewhere in this franchise at some point in her life, because she's done more to keep it alive than the people who own the franchise. So just a wonderful, wonderful person. So yeah. Okay, so this is tough. So favorite Ranger of all time. That's a tough one. I mean, I do love Billy. I love Billy because I loved how like Billy like learned something. Like Billy created the communicators, and I loved how Billy would use what he had learned. Like Billy was like who you want to be, because Billy was introduced to this world, but he took that and applied it to his world, and how you could make his world a better place. So like Billy is the perfect example of like how we want to be in life, right? Like we want to be people that meet new people, that meet new things. I know it's just like, in this case it's like aliens and interdimensional beings and things like that, and how he applies technology. But like that's how we should live our life though. Like we should like learn, like be educated. Like we don't know everything, but we can take that knowledge and we can apply it to these things, and we can make life a better place. And so like, I don't know, I just always loved that. I've loved that sort of character of Billy, and I'm so happy that if nothing ever comes of Power Rangers ever again, I'm just so happy that we got this special where like David Yost and Billy Cranston got to really like just shine, because they deserved it, Okay. I'm also love Andros, the red in Space Ranger. I know he's kind of like a jerk, but he was a loner, and I like how he came along, and I love that whole cast of characters in there. Wes, I like Wes from Time Force. These are also my favorite seasons. Jen Scotts is probably like easily probably the best Pink Ranger. I mean, I know we love Amy Jo. Don't get me wrong, I love Amy Jo, but come on, Jen Scotts was the leader in Time Force. And guys, if you haven't watched Time Force is another one of those seasons too where you could just watch it all by itself, and it is drama. It is so good, and it also has one of those endings that is just like, it was like a post September 11th, because September 11th like happened while they were making the show, but it's got a great message about this sort of like cycle of hate and how you break out of that, and what happens when we're just like seeking revenge and like instead of justice, all this stuff. And like how do you become like, she's just, Roxas Panda said in here, next level. She's a next level Ranger, you know what I mean? She's her own category. She's easily like one of the best Power Rangers like ever. Yeah, so I'd say like Jen, Billy, oh god, I love Ethan from Dino Thunder. I don't know. Again, he had that like Billy nerd thing, but he like turned it on his head. And also, Kevin, the actor, I got to meet him at PMC this last year, and I was so shy, because I'm also like, we're the exact same age, and so sometimes it feels weird going up and being like, hey man, I loved you on the show, but like, I love him. Like, he's just so nice, and now he's been sharing all these cool things of like behind the scenes stuff, and it's really sweet because he's got a lot of like Jason David Frank stories, who passed away at the end of last year. And I don't know, it's like, I just love that. I love that he acknowledges what it is. Oh, Cam from Ninja Storm is a good one too, John. I completely agree with that. Cam's story of when Cam becomes the green Ninja Storm, I think I said Ninja Steel, when Cam becomes the Ninja Storm Green Ranger, that like 2-episode arc where he goes back in time and meets like his parents, that is like chef's kiss Power Ranger storytelling there. Also, the Dino Thunder Ninja Storm team up is like really good. I really like the current like Power Rangers too. I love like I don't know. I love I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. It's like the time will tell sort of thing. The current Green Ranger, I really like her. Um, trying to think. Okay, so you gotta say my must watches. I feel like I've already said it. It's like obviously Mighty Morphin, um, Time Force, In Space, Time Force, Dino Thunder, Dino Fury, Mighty Morphin. I guess those are my 5. Yeah. No, RPM. Did I say RPM? RPM is easily like the best. Yeah, sadly the Red Ranger did also pass away. I don't know, from Ninja Storm. I mean, not from Mighty Morphin. Paul is saying in here, I really like Jason as the Gold Ranger. The Jason becoming the Gold Ranger thing. I remember. Okay, this is such a weird, stupid story, but there was a McDonald's that opened in my town. That was a really big deal for us. And I remember my grandparents being like, we'll go to McDonald's to get a bag of burgers because, you know, it was like $1 a burger or something like that. So we're like, okay. But Power Rangers was on, and I knew it was like leading up there, like, we're going to reveal the Gold Ranger. And I was like, it's that guy from VR Troopers because they're the same voice. And I was like, okay. So I put my VHS in it. I hit record. And I remember coming back and like pushing play upstairs, watching it in my grandparents' bedroom and being like, and I remember when like Tommy's like, I got a friend. And it like, and he came in and I remember screaming. And my brother was like, what was it? And I was like, Jason's the Gold Ranger. Though Billy definitely should have been the Gold Ranger. There's no question. Billy should have been made the Gold Ranger. When I saw the first part of the episode, I was like, they done my boy wrong. Yeah. I think there's just I got a lot of like we can talk more and more. I was just thinking, I was like, I don't know. I just love the aesthetic. I think the thing I love about Power Rangers in Space is it was like Star Trek meets Power Rangers. And Power Rangers also always seemed like it's like Rita was from space and like Zordon was from another planet and stuff. It always seemed like it was destined to head to another, like all that sort of stuff. So I love when Power Rangers gets into that really deep sci-fi stuff. Like it's a lot of fun. Samantha says she went on such a mom quest for a Gold Ranger merch for her kids. He had his own like music video on Fox Kids. He had that Gold Ranger song. Plus his shield was like, I'm sorry, but his shield was way cooler. I love the Green Ranger. I love Jason David Frank and everything. But that Green Ranger, that Gold Ranger shield, to this day, I still think the Gold Ranger costume is like one of the coolest looking costumes. Like if you were to ask me, so I've cosplayed as the red in Space Ranger, as the blue Mighty Morphin one I never actually got. I did the blue pink one from the comic book. There was a comic book where it was like what Kimberly did after she had left Power Rangers when she went to Paris to do the gymnastics thing. And when she's there, she has to create a new team of Power Rangers using her pink energy. And so all their suits have like pink infusion in them. And so I was that version of a Power Ranger suit because I was like, no one's done this yet. Let's do it. So I got a bunch of my friends together and we all picked one. And I was the blue one. So I never got to do the actual Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger costume. I don't have the boots or the gloves. Like I need the cuffs for it. And then I did In Space Red. I have the helmet to do Dino Fury Blue, but I outgrew the costume. So like that ain't happening. Mama's thick these days, so I slimmed down a little bit. I'm all about body positivity, but if you were to say like what characters do you want to do still, I think I'd like to be Yellow. Bulk came back, or Paul Scheer, not Bulk the character, Bulk the actor. He came back they did a season of Power Rangers that was like a tabletop role-playing game, but it's like being made as being in canon. I don't know the whole story about it, so I'm not trying to be insulting to anybody who loves it. But Hyperforce is what it was called, and there's a Yellow Ranger, and he's pretty thick, and I want to do that one. And I have a helmet downstairs that my friend literally like printed to bring over the other day, but it's too small for my head. It's like not long enough. So I thought he had made a bigger one and had sent it away to get painted, and it never came back. So that person. We lost the helmet and the money on that deposit, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, but I would like to do that suit, that Hyperforce yellow suit, for sure. Gold Ranger, and I want to do or not Quantum Ranger. I want to do Titanium Ranger because his name is Ryan, and he was the first American Ranger. So I was like, I have a little like bond to that Ranger. But I want to do the Dino Fury Blue because I have his helmet, so I'm like, I need it. I think I have to get the helmet specially made. You have to like 3D print them for me because it has to be like enlarged a certain percentage because my head's just like long, and just like a little thicker. And most helmets are made for like Japanese men who are a half the size of my head. So, so anyway, let me scroll through. Sorry, the chat wasn't moving, and I just realized it was because my like cursor was on there. But yeah, what's my opinion on the Quantum Ranger? Okay, so I love Power Rangers Time Force. It's probably like really up there. Is probably my favorite season of the show. I just, again, like Jen Scott, I love the Wes and Jen dynamic. I love the Alex, when he comes back. And there was just so much drama, but I love their like civilian, those like white suits they wore. And then I love their civilian clothes. Like my friend and I like sewed those costumes up. Like I can't really sew, but I helped as much as I could. And I did, so we tried to make the white like civilian jumpsuits they had. And we did that as Halloween, like, I think it was like junior year. And yeah, it was just, those were so cool. But I love, what I think is so cool about the Quantum Ranger, and one of my favorite things in that 3-part finale of Time Force is the culminations of Eric's story, where like Wes, who is this rich kid who's given up everything to be a Power Ranger, but then like Eric, who had nothing except being a Power Ranger, like this dichotomy of these two characters who just can't figure out like why one doesn't like the other one, and he's just like, you don't get it, you don't get what this is like. And I just love Eric's story, but I also love that like Eric's powers are like have traveled through time. Like they ended up like they're the prototype. That's why he's also a Red Ranger, because he's the prototype Red Ranger that got lost to time, and then they found it in like our time. And I don't know. It's so cool. Plus, Dan Southworth seems like really nice. I met him once, and we did a photo, and he was just like really, really cool. Yeah. But Liz, you get it. I love. I want to. Just because I can't fit in a Ranger suit doesn't mean I can't do like a civilian cosplay. So I would love to do something. I was trying to do a Red Beast Morphers one because I like finally got his T-shirt, and I had like the whole outfit. And then I had one of his like gym outfits, but I thought about I thought maybe for like a next big Ranger convention, trying to do the movie versions of everyone's outfits from like Mighty Morphin. So like Billy's like blue vest. Billy's rocking an outfit in that. Also in that movie, if you notice, no one has sleeves except Aisha, but then she doesn't have pants. So like you either don't have sleeves or pants. It's like one of the two. I love it. I love it. I love it. Who gets their own team? Who gets their own team? The Quantum Ranger? Who's his team? I gotta get that comic book. So I know. I'm sure it's all at the comic shop. Although they stopped texting me, so I'm like, are they not holding my comics anymore? Where like I need to read the one-off, the Hyperforce comic, and then I need to really catch up on the comics because they're good, and the fact that the show like weaves in that canon is cool too, so it's a lot of fun. I love seeing that sort of stuff. But yeah, I love Power Rangers. I love the movie. I love thing. I have the TV show Communicator on, but one of the coolest things that finally came out for years. Okay, Roxman, I didn't know anything about the Quantum Ranger dealing with anything. If that's a Hyperforce thing, I need to read it. I was a little disappointed with the Time Force one-off that I think was like the Jen and Wes story, because it was like nonsensical to me. I feel like I was lost while I was reading it, and I don't know. I don't know. I didn't love it. Oh, sorry, I'm in yawn. I haven't been sleeping well. Yeah. I am. So Liz is asking, I'm only on issue 40. I am. Yeah, that's like right after Shattered Grid, right? So I am when I think Go-Go jumped forward, and yeah, like I'm right where the Omega Rangers show up, like right there, right there. So yeah. Um, Ooh, Power Rangers Dream Team. See, that's something that I always thought was wild that they never, like when they brought Tommy back for Dino Thunder, which I think was like season 11. I thought it was one of the best ideas ever. Like having him, and then he becomes a Ranger again. But like they really didn't do that ever again. And I felt like that's such a wasted thing. So now they've said like Billy is going to be in Cosmic Fury, which I think is incredible. And I love that. And I'm hoping he plays a mentor part. And I hope it's not one episode. I hope it's the whole show. But I really thought that was such a missed opportunity not to create like the dream team of Power Rangers, especially, you know where that would have been great? In Megaforce, in Super Megaforce or it shouldn't have been called Super Megaforce. Also, calling your show Megaforce and then everything being like the Ultra Mega, Super Mega like you guys couldn't think of other names of things, Super Mega Ultra. Like I just felt like it was like they were like doing the bare minimum of writing, I guess, at that point. And I was like, So that's just me. And again, I'm not, if you like it and it's your thing and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm glad it brings you happiness. Okay. So we're talking primary colors. So, okay. Pink Ranger. We got to have my girl Jen in there. Okay. Are they their original colors? Is that the thing now? This is too hard. This might have to be a separate thing. Like figuring out a dream team of who we'd want of Power Rangers to come back. I don't know. No, this is too hard. I can't answer that question. I can't answer it right now. I'll have to think about it. But I think like using those pirate suits, it would have been cool because like having elder Rangers or former Rangers, I should say, not old Rangers. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been cool to be like, oh, that's cool. They're jumping around in their other seasons, but some of these people also know those seasons. Oh man, that's a tough question. Like the dream team of Power Rangers, everybody's got to be the same kind of color. So you got to ask yourself, like, who's the Red Ranger? I don't know. I really like Zato from the current season. He's a good Red Ranger. I like Wes, but I'm not. If I can only bring back one person from Time Force, we're getting Jen. Let's not be idiots here. We're getting Jen. That's why I'm like, blue is Billy. No question. We got to get a Billy. We got to get an original in there. We get Andros, Red Ranger. Andros, boom. That's how we get Andros back. Andros, Jen, Billy. So now we need a black and a yellow Ranger. Or black or green and a yellow. And then a sixth Ranger. This is tough, guys. I don't know. The guy in RPM who played the Black Ranger, he's pretty good. And then yellow. Maya from Lost Galaxy? I'm going through them in my head. I'm like, okay, did I close the window where I had all the seasons open? Because it's easier for me to think when I can just see all the things. Yeah, and then how many extra Rangers do we get? I think Jason David Frank, well, he's passed. But if this is, we're talking like animated or whatever, or something like, Tommy would have definitely had to have been included in that. There's no question. There's no denying, however you feel about either the character of Tommy or the person of Jason David Frank, rest in peace, that they were a significant part of Power Rangers. And I very much am grateful to have had have somebody around like that, to also, have had the pleasure of been in his presence before, having met him, I met him like years before people were doing the comic circuit, really. And, he had very little tattoos at that point. And, and seeing him like once or twice since then, I don't know, it's sad to see him go. It's like, Did I get the original White Ranger toy when I was a kid? I did. So I was lucky. My uncle, I'm going to go back to the original Mighty Morphin season. So my birthday is January 1st, which can sometimes be difficult. Christmas, New Year's birthdays. But my uncle worked at a Bradley's. I don't know if you've heard of that store. It might have been regional to New England, and they also don't exist anymore. But he worked at a Bradley's, and he was able to snag me a Mighty Morphin Blue Power Ranger action figure, and I remember that. And I remember getting the Megazord and being able to assemble that thing with my eyes closed. It's actually in my glass case right over here on the side, my Megazord, like my original Megazord. Some dick kid next door to my dad's house broke the arm off of my Billy, but I still have the figure and the arm. Because I kept my original, but I have a replacement one now. Years later I got one, but yeah. And then we got the Dragon Zord. My brother had gotten the Dragon Zord that came with the Green Ranger, and then I got the Dragon Dagger from my uncle again. And then I had gotten the White Ranger, but that's all I had gotten. I never got the Thunder Megazord, and I didn't get Tor, but I've got a Tor now. Somebody who watched the show for work had given me all their old Power Ranger stuff, which was incredibly kind and generous and wonderful of them. Nick, and I have the Tor, but he's missing one of his feet, which apparently is a common problem. So I have to remember the next time I go to a convention which foot it is, because sometimes people sell the feet separately. And then I don't really have a Thunder Megazord. I have one with the legs are snapped off for the Red Dragon, because that was a hard one to assemble. So I don't think I can put it back together. And I never got the Bandai, the other one, because it was just, I didn't make enough. I worked at Disney when those were being released, so I couldn't afford it. And I was finishing college, so it was that super nice Bandai Legacy one I never got. But so I don't have any of that. But I do have all the Ninja season stuff, like the movie. I finally have the Shogun Megazord, the Ninja Megazord, and all that stuff from there. So I think I'd like to complete my Mighty Morphin collection and stuff, but I have a lot of bad guys, things like that. People are very kind to me. I feel very fortunate in my life to have met people who are very generous with their Power Ranger stuff. Because when I was a kid, these are a couple of the toys I had. And this, I'm talking, that was a Christmas present. That wasn't I got random stuff throughout the year. I had to do so much, work so much and my mom will tell you, I had to work a lot to be able to I'd wash cars, I'd do all this stuff to be able to make the money just to get morphers as the seasons came out later. But that Mighty Morphin Morpher, I never had it. My friend Steven, my childhood friend Steven, this isn't the one's in the glass case over here. He finally gave me his. But one day I want one of those in the box. Not in the box I'm gonna keep it in the box forever, but I just want the box to be able to be I finally bought it. I got it. The Morpher with the coins and the thing. I want 5 of them though. Not 5 in the box. I want 5 of these 1993 Morphers. 1 for each Power Ranger. I currently have 3. I have this one that during the pandemic somebody got at a yard sale or something like that. So I got this one for $30, which was nice. It was just like this. It was no coins, whatever. I'm I have the coins. I don't need the thing. So this guy. And I have my one that my friend Steven gave me as a kid. I have another one that I bought from somebody who watched the show, and I paid for that one. So I have 3. So I need 2 more of those 1983 ones. Because for me, this is the toy. I don't care. I know a lot of times people are well, the Bandai, the Legacy edition is the toy because it's all metal and it's nice. I have one of those, and I have the Green Ranger Morpher from that too. It's fine. And I have the Hasbro one that they released too. It's fine too. They're all too big. They're too big. They're not the Morphers that you would have on the back of your thing. It's that one. So, you know what, Roxa Panda, you're right. I actually do need 6 because I need to recolor. I need to recolor one or get plates for one because I need the Green Rangers one. You're right. Oh my God, I remember Ames too. Jeez, Ames is where I bought the Turbo Power Rangers movie on VHS in the clamshell. What is my most sentimental Power Rangers item? I think it might be the Morpher. It might be that original series Morpher because my friend would let me borrow it and I put the movie coin in it, the red one, and I would sleep with it on my pillow and stuff, and I just had it so much that it rubbed the paint off of the thing. And so that Morpher is very symbolic of Power Rangers for me. I don't know why I was always like the red one, because he was like Billy too, so I didn't want to be like, oh, well, I'm Billy. Like, so I would be like, oh, I'll be the Red Ranger. It's fine. Also, I was like, well, if I'm the only one who likes Power Rangers and I'm the only one watching Power Rangers, and someday I become a Power Ranger, I can't just be randomly the blue Power Ranger. I have to be the red Power Ranger because it'll be up to me to get the rest of the Power Rangers, right? Isn't that the logic? So I feel like I'm always like, I've got to be the red one, I guess. Like, so I'm only really embracing my Billy stuff again recently. I don't know. I think the action figure, the Red Ranger action figure, I like my Dragon Dagger. I like my mom. When I one time sat my mom down and I explained about the birthday situation, because she always thought people were so much more generous because my birthday was on January 1st, and I was always like, no, I'm getting the return gifts. But they had made, it was the first time I'd ever seen in my life the communicators on eBay. So it's like the prototype version of this that was made, like, and she gave me a gift certificate to eBay to be able to buy it, and that was like 2007. So like I had just moved to Florida, and like, so it was like these communicators, like, they're symbolic for me of like, they carry with you like emotion and stuff. And so I don't know, the communicator feels very symbolic to me. This I just got like last year, though, because they finally had the flat ones again, and I didn't have a blue one, and this one's the blue one. And I have a red one like this too that I had bought a couple years ago when they were finally all metal, because the one my mom got me has the yellow button and everything on it. But this part isn't metal. It's like made of some other material, so it'll break. So I'm afraid to use it, but I keep it in there. So I don't know. It's like when I hold that, I think of my mom. My mom got it for me, and like, I don't know. I'm a very tactile person, I think. So I think like it's there's a lot of this stuff that like does mean stuff, and some of it can mean stuff instantaneously, but there's other stuff where I'm like, that specific item was the one that traveled with me. You know what I mean? And then sometimes it's with like the communicators. I find the communicators to be very symbolic in terms of like, this would be the gift I would give a Power Rangers fan. Yeah. My red one though, like I have to glue the stuff back together because the top part popped off or whatever. So I need to get the yellow button for this one though, because they didn't have the yellow button, I don't think, in like the later seasons maybe. But like, you have to like get it and glue it on. I'm always afraid it's gonna fall off. But also, I have a thing where you can take these off, the bands off. Now they sell the bands separately. This one company, Starlight Studios, but you can slide this adapter into your Apple Watch, and it can be the bands for your Apple Watch. And I have it to do it, but I'm terrified that I'm so active with the watch, because it has to be tight on your wrist with a watch for you to measure all your stuff, that I'll push my hand down and it'll snap the band, because I have, like, thick wrists. But yeah, I don't know. I know I'm not a Mighty Morphin purist either. I don't even mean any of that stuff. So it's like it's weird. Some stuff. Excuse me. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna look at my case really quick and see, because now you guys have me thinking where I'm like, I don't know. I've got like the Ninja Megazord in here, and that kind of reminds me of a very like specific time. Here, I'll show you the communicator actually too. I have all my backpacks in front of this case like an idiot, so you can't get in here. I'll show you the original one, the like original first time I ever saw them on these on eBay. So like, oh, hold on, I think I can focus this. Whoops. There we go. Hold on. So like, you can kind of see this is like formed or copied. I think this was copied from the watch, because there was a watch, but see, it has a little button. It's supposed to say like push, but it doesn't. But I was just like, this is so cool. But you can see too where they like put the colored bands to the back, so it was separate, where I was like, oh, I could push these out and make something else. I didn't. But then like, this is the metal one. Someday I'll get one in every color so I can wear it with an outfit. But then you're like, well, wouldn't that make my smartwatch pointless? Wouldn't that make the smartwatch just a waste of money? Look at my beard. it's just one of those things, like, I'll say this in closing because I do have to walk my dogs in a minute here, and I've been doing this for a while. There aren't things in your life that travel with you through all these times. And having been 8 years old when it started and 38 years old now, I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that I'd be here still enjoying this thing too. On top of that, seeing these people that are like my childhood, like heroes, still coming back. But like, it's also this thing that traveled through time with you. So then when I watch the other episodes, it's that, I know nostalgia is the word we use a lot, but I mean it in the best form of nostalgia. Like, it pulls you through time. Like, in 2001, that's when Time Force started, I think, February 2001. So I was like 10th grade, because it used to go February to November. So I remember being in like 10th grade, and then like I remember that relationship I had with like my friend Lisa, and us making those costumes, and then my first boyfriend at that time too, and like all of us having that sort of bond over this thing. And like we all had the morpher, we all had that Time Force morpher, and like, so like when I hold that morpher, like I feel like it's literally like pulls me back through time, and it's like a little capsule. And then and so like having the show having kind of been there in all these like really significant moments. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel quite the same these days because of having lost it a little bit when I got here, it not being on as much as it is. But like I remember watching RPM. So like when you're really committed to it, it's this thing that I just hold so close to me. And I don't know, I think it's this like beautiful thing. Also, I think Power Rangers is one of those shows too that will never really get the credit it deserves for like, it's a pretty good, like, I know it's cheesy, I know it's weird, I know it's whatever, but like if you really watch it, it's like the production, like, I know people think they have this image of it, but then I'm like, did you actually watch it? Like, did you see it? Like, there's some like, having gone through film school, whatever, there's some pretty phenomenal like shot composition in it. There's really intricate camera work. Like, there's a lot of really active, really great filmmaking talent, and like just like practice being performed on that show that will never get the credit that it deserves. But they were doing that stuff in a park, on this like shoestring budget. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like, recently somebody was like, I think online it said the budget for like Dino Charge was like over $1 million an episode. I was like, $1 million for one episode of the show? The show is not gonna last. Because they're like, oh, it's a $22 million season or something. I'm like, $22 million? What? Like, but then you think about it, like the production, I guess. But like, how much did it cost back then? Jeez. All right, I do have to go, though. I have to walk my dogs and everything like that. So I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, so much for spending this time with me and this day with me. Anybody who came now or watched later or anything like that. I know it was a really weird watch-along thing. I am not going to do those forever or anything like that, or for anything very long, but I just wanted to do something special and make sure we got our view count in, so Netflix knows that Power Rangers is important and that registers. And hey, pay your writers and pay your actors a living wage and all that sort of stuff. I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. This was a lot of fun, and thank you for taking me down memory lane. I really needed this. I had some not good news recently, that this was a nice little escape for 2 hours. So thank you on this very special day. I hope you all are doing great, and I will say, may the power protect you. Is that too cheesy? I feel like I can barely hold it together when people say, may the force be with you, but it's like that same idea where, like, it's a similar Star Trek. Oh my God, we're done. I said Star Trek when I meant Star Wars. Anyway, you're all amazing. You're great. Thank you so much. And remember, do good. Be a Power Ranger in your own life. Fight those monsters. And make the world a better place for other people. Bye, everybody.